What's good, people? If you're new to the MLB The Show series or returning after a long hiatus, what's up? Today I'll be going over with you the ins and outs of the pitcher interfaces you will encounter in MLB The Show 21, how to change them, the pros and cons of each, and help you decide which may be the best for you. I'm Chris from Sports Gamers Online, and alright, let's get it. First off, to access your pitching settings from the main menu, you want to scroll up to the very top of the screen and all the way over to the right to settings. Hit settings again and then gameplay. Then hit the right bumper once and you're there. I'm mainly going to be going over the pitcher interfaces you can use that you can change here, and we'll be working with the pitch feedback set to on for the video. And once you back out, it will ask you to save and you're good. So we're going to start with meter pitching. Now this is the default pitching interface you will have when you boot up MLB The Show 21. The success of the pitch will depend on your X or A button hitting abilities as the meter swings back and forth as you have to stop it twice in specific spots. The first at the end of the meter, which determines how fast the pitch will be, and on the way back inside the yellow line, which determines how accurate your pitch is. To determine your velocity, the deeper you get the tick inside that bar, the faster your pitch will be. So if you stop it just inside of this meter, whatever pitch you selected speed will top out around the lower end of the pitcher's velocity range that you can see under each pitch. So if he throws a 92, 96 mile per hour fastball, at best you will see a speed of a 94, a bunch of 93s and 92s mixed in. When the meter swings back is the most important, as how close you get the yellow line determines the accuracy of your pitches, but obviously getting it inside is the end goal here. Pitchers do have built-in accuracy on each pitch that will play a part in how much leeway you get missing the yellow tick. So you can only do so much if you're using a low control type pitcher and you're not nailing inside the yellow line every time. But if you nail the accuracy meter, it will turn blue and will be right on target or close to it. And throughout the game, the more success you start to have with a pitch, the bigger the yellow tick will become, making it easier to hit. Like I mentioned, the more you miss from the yellow tick, the more the pitch will move away from your intended target location. But there's some predictability in this. If you stop the pitch button too early, it will rise in the zone. And if you hit it late, the pitch will drop. So with certain pitches, you will much rather be too early or too late. So if you miss, you're not screwed. So keep that in mind when you're throwing, for example, a curve that if you miss, you want to be late so it doesn't hang high in the strike zone for a moonshot. Now, if you stop the pitch meter super early or late, you will throw a wild pitch. So be careful if you're using a pitcher who isn't the most accurate, judging by his walk per 9 rating, as you're asking for trouble if you're not careful. Next, we got classic pitching, which is being lifted from old school baseball games. This is where you select your pitch, aim with the left stick, and basically the game will take over and your success with the pitch will be determined by the pitcher's ratings and where the pitch will ultimately land. So for that reason, I wouldn't recommend this pitching interface at all. It's not exactly aim and hope for the best, but the consistency in user input is lacking in favor of a more realistic approach. Which I mean, who really wants that? If you do use it though, I must note, especially on breaking balls, where you aim the pitch is where the pitch will break from, not where it will end up. Next, we got a fairly popular interface, especially at the higher levels, which is pure analog pitching, which will probably throw you off completely the first time you use it. Like, why is there a base above the meter? Why is the baseball moving? What's going on here? Well, pure analog works by relying on your skills with the right stick to determine the success of the pitch. When you're ready to throw, you're gonna want to aim the right stick down to begin your windup and flick your right stick forward when the baseball gets as close to the yellow meter as possible. Then you want to direct the baseball towards the circle at the top with the right stick. And this circle will be located where you aim your pitch at. The closer you can land it, the more accurate your pitch will be. And the harder you bring the right stick back up towards the circle increases velocity on your fastball and more break on your breaking balls, which the game will tell you you're doing by the meter turning red. And similar to meter, if you stop pulling the right stick down early before it reaches the yellow line, the pitch will rise from where you originally wanted, and if you're late, it will drop. The biggest plus for analog is the amount of control it gives the user over where the pitch will ultimately go. Even if you miss the target, it will go where you missed at. So over the long run, it will cause a lot less "what was that" moments for yourself, which is nice because it's frustrating when you try to paint the corner, miss your spot, and bam, the ball gets put right in the batter's wheelhouse. Now, because this gives you more control, it can be great if you're good at it. And if you struggle at it, you basically should just close your eyes and say good luck out there to the batter, because neither you or him would know where the ball is about to end up. So if you're not the best aiming the stick, this may not be for you, but there are ways to improve upon this. You can time when to push up on the right stick when it hits the yellow line to something the pitcher is doing. Does he leg kick when the ball touches the line? Does he turn his head back, or does he show the ball? It could be anything really, but this will give you a visual cue to at least have some consistency in the first part of this mechanic. You also must know that you don't have to pull the right stick straight down to start the meter. You can start the pitch by aiming down and slightly to the left or down and to the right. This is key when you're trying to nail a pitch on the outside of the plate, because if you swing the right stick straight down and then try to swing it up and to the right, that's pretty difficult. You could do it, but not as consistently. So what you want to do is, if the circle at the top is on the right side of the plate, aim the right stick down and to the left. And if the circle is on the left, aim the right stick down and to the right. So once you do that, you push the right stick up diagonally to the pitch's location to create a more natural motion, and giving you more consistency in hitting the target. Instead of pushing straight down and trying to angle your push up to the side and then you're way off and you just threw a wild pitch. Next, we got post pitching. That is pretty straightforward. After you select your pitch, you want to throw when the circle becomes the smallest, which will cause you to throw more accurately, and the pitch will be thrown somewhere in the circle. If you throw it and the circle is huge, obviously prepare for an adventure and hope the ball doesn't land down the middle. And the better the pitch you're using in terms of their ability to throw strikes with it, the smaller and slower the circle will be. So oftentimes the smallest circle will be the fastball because that's the easiest to locate. With post, you can change the meter display to either classic, which will have the outside of the circle outlined, or default, which doesn't. A huge benefit of using post is in your ability to control the base runners, as post allows you to not worry about nailing analog or meter timing while worrying about the bases. Make a note though, you're not really controlling the location or velocity of the pitch, as it largely will be based on the attributes of the pitcher you're using. So alright people, hope I was able to help those new to MLB The Show 21 or those who need a refresher on the different pitching interfaces in the game. And stay tuned here because I will be dropping a separate video going over the newest edition, pinpoint pitching, and how to properly execute it. So stay tuned for that. It's a challenge. And if you liked the video, make sure to subscribe to Sports Gamers Online for more MLB The Show content. And hit that bell icon at the bottom so you don't miss anything we put out. Alright people, I'm Chris. Thank you all for watching, and be good y'all.